Alright, hello. Media update my 1000 days challenge. This is day 507, so let's get things started. Right, so first and foremost, in terms of balance wise, you can see it's relatively the same. I think there's a small little profit for the experimental trade setup yesterday, but then today I actually had another loss again, so it should more or less cover. So because of my experimental trade setup right now, I'm going with very scalping kind of a position, going on much smaller position size. So yeah, it's more like a shorter kind of a smaller risk to reward setup, 1:1, or sometimes even lower than 1:1. So there's something to bear in mind. It's just something I'm trying it out. So on the other hand, in terms of the daily market structure update itself, so tentatively the market has just opened today. Things looks to be a little bit bearish if you can see over for the China market sort of things. You can see especially for KWEB, we're definitely heading towards the $35 and $32 region itself, which is something that I did mention that there was the target, the break below. So it seems that we are getting very close to that. So hopefully this support do come into play. Otherwise, I will also be updating what will be the next coming support that will be from. Yep. So other than that, in terms of Bitcoin wise, thing does looks a little bit bearish because of three main factors. Firstly, we actually had these close couple of days on the 17th December, and then after that we maintained a close right below the 200-day simple moving average. And then for the second day or the third day in a row, we actually closed right below once again. And now currently on the fourth day itself, things definitely looks to be a little bit more shaky. But you can also see that on the shorter time frame, there's actually a lack of selling pressure or momentum right now. So that is a good sign, but there's only the one good sign of the many so-called negative or bearish sign itself. But of course, if you look in the grand scheme of things, we've been going down too drastically that I do not know whether it is sustainable or not. But bear in mind that we also come to some sort of here, we got clear resistance over there, and then we go further down again. So what I do expect, if there was a dead cat bounce was to happen, we could retest this 20 exponential moving average, which is currently at 51.4K region itself. If we do bounce above that and not able to close above it, then tentatively things will look to be a little bit more bearish. On the other hand, I do see potential that we could go down over here to even the 41K region itself, in which case if we have a very nice bounce, or even consolidate over here for a nice break, that could potentially be what is the reversal continuation pattern for Bitcoin itself. And the only good sign is that we actually transited to a positive MACD crossover itself. But with price below the 200-day simple moving average, therefore, it's still leaning towards that slight bearish bias in that sense. So yeah, so for our chart, definitely still in the short setup. That's why I shown over here. No change in terms of that. There's some sort of buying pressure right now, but you can see that they are not coming in as strong as you would like. And this support is being retested quite heavily itself. I'm not sure how much it will hold. So previously we did bounce up quite above the 50-day simple moving 50 period moving average on the 4-hour chart. And then over here, we only pass slightly above, and then here we're clearly rejected. So the next time we do test over here, we may not even test and we may go straight down. So I will actually start to move my stop loss slightly a little bit lower here and there, but it's not going to make much difference. But bear in mind that I'll have a very tight trailing stop loss, because when it comes to short setup itself, I do see that when the bounce starts happening, it will be tentatively a lot stronger. So you'll be a lot safer to have a much more tighter trailing stop loss. So yep. So otherwise, that's more or less about it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to provide your comments below. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.